Hey guys, so to start off, you want to have a clean face, and I'm going straight into using my Laura Mercier Hydrating Primer. So I'm just setting that all over the places that I feel like I get dry spots and the most pores. I'm going in with my Makeup Forever HD Foundation Stick in the color 153. So I'm just dabbing that all over my face, and then now we're going to blend with a brush. So now I'm using the Urban Decay Naked Concealer, and I'm just using that to slightly highlight. It's very close to my skin color, so it still looks like a natural highlight, nothing too exaggerated. So you want to go in with a damp beauty blender and just dab that as well all over the places that you just use the concealer. Now we're going to set that highlight that we just did, and I'm using the MAC Mineralize Skinfinish in Medium Plus. I feel like that's the perfect highlight color if you're somebody that's tan or like golden skin. It looks pretty natural and it doesn't make it look too white under the eyes. Then I'm setting the whole face with the Mercier Translucent powder, and then I'm going straight into doing my little contour, but I'm using a bronzer just to give back that color and dimension into my face. Now I'm going in with the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette. So now I'm giving a little bit of a deeper contour. So the bronzer gives back the skin color, more of that like tan glow, and the contour is really going to give back that structure into my face. After I finish contouring, I'm using the Sephora Blush in the color Too Hot. And after I finish with the blush, now we're going to start with the eyeshadow. I'm going in with the Morphe 350 palette, which is one of my favorites, and I did use that in a previous tutorial. So I'm just going to use that transition shade. You always want to start with a really light color, something that's a little bit translucent, similar to your skin color. And then after that, I'm going to start building up that color with something a little bit more pigmented, something a little bit more intense. So now I'm going into a darker shade. It's like a dark brown with a little bit of a warm tone. I'm using a really dense round dome brush, and I'm only focusing that on the outer corner of my eye. And of course, the most important step is blending. So I'm using my MAC 224 brush, and I'm just blending into my crease. And as shown, I'm using my Sugar Pill Loose Eyeshadow in the name Asylum. So I felt like that was super perfect for this tutorial, not because of the name, that was just coincidence. So I sprayed my flat brush with the Makeup Forever setting spray, and I am obsessed with that setting spray now. And then as you saw, I just reapplied on my outer corners a little bit of a black, and then I did my lashes and my eyeliner off camera because, as we know, it's kind of difficult to do that on camera. Now I'm using my Jordana lip liner in Sedona Red, and then I'm using my Kat Von D liquid lipstick in Outlaw. Also off camera, when I was done applying my lipstick, I cleaned it up with the foundation and a flat brush. If you want, you can also use your own concealer. Now to highlight, give you that glow, I used my Anastasia Glow Kit in this one is the Sun Dip one actually, and with a thin flat brush, I'm just going ahead and highlighting. Now this is the finished look. If you want, you can keep the look just like this, and if you want to see the gruesome part, just keep watching. Now for this part, the best part, to achieve this clawed look, you're going to need a bottle of liquid latex and a little bowl. Right now I'm just using a silver dish bowl that I got from my kitchen, and I bought the liquid latex in my Halloween local, craft store. So you can pretty much find this anywhere, especially in the month of October. There's so many Halloween stores that open. So now I'm using a little sponge. You can use a brush, a paintbrush, anything you feel comfortable with. And you want to put a pretty thick coat of liquid latex on your face with the sponge. After that, to get that deep cut scar look, you need to start applying chunks of, you can use tissue, toilet paper, anything, but something thin, nothing like paper towel because that might be a little too thick. So basically the whole routine of this step is that you want to put the liquid latex, put the tissue, and then layer again liquid latex, and then repeat the steps all over again. So now you see me putting tissue, and then you would see over that I'm going to put the liquid latex. So you want to keep stacking that on because that's what's going to build that deep scar. So when you cut into the tissue, it's going to look deep because you keep on layering and layering that tissue and that liquid latex. So do not be afraid with the liquid latex. You know, at first, this is my first time, if I didn't mention already, that using liquid latex, so this was a little nerve-wracking, but it does take practice even though I didn't practice. And the little tip, you know when it's dry, basically when it turns slightly yellow. So when that's done drying, I went ahead and went back to my Makeup Forever HD Stick Foundation, and I started dabbing that all over the liquid latex while it's dry, okay? Then you want to set that again, and I'm using my Mercier Translucent powder. You can use any powder that you feel comfortable with. And then it was kind of difficult at first to open up the liquid latex, so you want to start off with tweezers to poke a little hole in it, just as I'm doing right here. So I'm going to say this very carefully. When you are doing this step, please use small scissors. This was the only scissors I had available, so I used what I had. But please do not poke your eye out or stab your actual skin. I know it looks like I'm being a little rough, but actually without the video being sped up, I actually am doing this with caution. And if you don't have a small pair of scissors or you don't really know what kind I'm talking about, I would prefer that you guys use maybe, like, you know, the eyebrow scissors that are really tiny. So something like that would be absolutely perfect to use. Now for the fun part, I just went to my local craft store, once again the Halloween store, and I bought a little kit. So I'm using this paint palette, and I'm mixing red and black, and I'm keeping the black paint more focused on the inside of the scar. And what I mean by that is like where the corners are, like all the way from where it starts to peel up. So in the kit that I also purchased, it came with like this waxy clay circle thing, and it didn't really have any directions on what it was, so I used it and I added a little bit water to those three colors I just showed. And I love this part because it really does bring the scars to life. It makes it look a lot more realistic, because think about it, if a wolf or some kind of animal scratched you in your face, you would assume that it's really, you know, bloody, it's swollen, it's almost like decaying. So basically, after adding the liquid latex and cutting it open, this part is up to you. You can detail this up to, you know, your preference. So I also added bloody scab to make it a lot thicker. And of course, because there's just not enough blood, I had to go in with a bottle of blood, and I did little drips down my neck. I also adding a little bit more detailing, more bruising under the eye. I added more of that purple red eyeshadow too inside my eyeshadow and in my crease. And then around the bruises and the scars, I added more detailing. So the bruising is the final step, and that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is my first Halloween tutorial, so it was exciting. I definitely will be practicing in the future, so please leave me comments, subscribe, and like. Let me know what other things you would love to see in the future.